about her and she knows it. I wanna let it take control, 'cause every time that she gets close, yeah, she pulls me in.
Hey my beautylicious babes. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Megan. Today's tutorial is on this super like bronzy, goddessy, summery, cut crease, golden kind of thing. I don't know. It's just this kind of thing, this kind of look. So it's super easy to achieve, guys. I also show you a lot of tips and tricks on how I'm covering up my acne, what to do, what not to do, how to stop like getting that cakey, flaky looking skin when you do have breakouts or acne like I have at the moment. So this is a chit chat, get ready with me. So it is a lot of chit chatting and things like that. So I hope you guys are cool with that. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I was like, I miss talking to you guys. I haven't done my makeup in so long, and I just wanted to do it with you guys. Like, I really have missed talking to you. Like, it's been hard. This last month has been hard. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe down below to my channel and join my YouTube fam. I love you guys to join my YouTube fam. So if you guys are interested in how I got this look right here, then please stay watching. Let's go to it. Hey guys, so first of all we're going to prime our skin, and I'm going in with my 100% pure mattifying primer which has vitamins and antioxidants. This one's really good for my skin lately just because it is quite inflamed and breaking out, and it is healing up, so I don't want to put any like harsh chemicals or anything on there, so I'm using quite natural products as an all over kind of base for my skin today. And I find this one doesn't react with my skin. It's really, really good. It doesn't make me break out. It doesn't cause it to get more inflamed or anything like that. So I really like this primer, and it also keeps me matte and helps my makeup last throughout the day as well. So it does a good all-rounder job. Voila. So I allow about 90 seconds to, a couple minutes to let this sink into my skin. And then I'm going to go on with my foundation and everything like that. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I think I might do like a bronzy look today. It is like so cold. Oh my god, I miss summer so much. I swear I'm not a winter person, I'm definitely a summer person. So that's why I love doing like summery looks, especially winter time, because it makes me feel like I'm in summer. So the foundation I'm going in with is the same company. It's the 100% pure natural foundation. I like this one again because it helps with my skin issues. Like, I don't break out with this one. It's quite natural, so it's not putting any harsh chemicals onto my skin, which will cause me to break out and everything. And my skin's finally healing up, guys. I'll do a skin like routine, kind of how I got rid of my acne kind of thing when it's all cleared up. But I swear this stuff is so good for when you do have breakouts because it doesn't cause you to break out anymore. It's just so handy dandy. So I'm going in and placing this all over my skin. Probably going to do about a medium coverage today. Always make sure to bring it down your neck as well to stop any demarcation lines popping up. I swear this foundation is like been my ride or die. Like, if I have put on makeup in this last month, I've only used this foundation and primer just because it's more on the natural side, and like I said, my skin's just been blowing up. So I've been trying to heal it up. That's why I haven't been doing my videos on myself. I've been doing it on my siblings. So I'm just putting a layer of this on. And put a bit more coverage on like the areas that I need it. But if you do have quite acne prone skin like me, or you have blemishes and breakouts, you don't want to put too thick a layer of foundation on to those, like your whole face, because it's just going to make you look really cakey. So what I recommend is just doing like one layer all over your face, and then afterwards just dab on a little smidgen more on the places that you may need a little bit more coverage. And then I just go and conceal afterwards on those areas, just on my blemishes and breakouts and things like that, just so that I don't look all caked up. So the concealer that I'm using today is my Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer by BH Cosmetics. This one literally covers everything. It's so good. The only thing is it's a little bit drying on the skin. So like where I have, my blemishes and breakouts and things like that, they've been getting really dry and like flaky because I've been putting tea tree oil and things on them, so it's dried out my skin a lot. So I wouldn't recommend putting this on the blemish areas. I'm going to be putting my e.l.f. Concealer on those areas because this one is so much more hydrating, and it just literally just sits on the skin. It doesn't make it look or flaky, or doesn't cling to any of my dry patches or things like that. So I'm going to be using two concealers today, so my e.l.f. one and my BH Cosmetics one around my eyes. So because my BH one is a yellow undertone concealer, I'm putting this on all the centre of my face so it highlights as well as conceals. But on my acne prone areas, like I said, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. one just because it's more hydrating. And to blend out my concealer on my chin, I just go around and buff the edges so I don't take any of that coverage away. And I'm just using a little Real Techniques buffer brush, because if you use a beauty blender or anything like that, a beauty sponge, it's just going to take the coverage away because it's going to soak up any excess product. We want that to stay on the face. Voila! So see, it's just done a nice coverage over all those redness and all those dry areas, and it's not made them look all flaky or anything like that. Now to set everything in place, I'm going to go in with my Eclipse Blur Powder. I don't want to do a heavy layer of this. I'm not going to apply it on my chin or anything like that because I've already got dryness there, and I've applied powder on top. It's just going to really emphasize that dryness and that flakiness and make it look all cakey. So I'm going to leave that area. I'm just going to set underneath my eyes and on top of my eyes just to set that concealer in place, because I crease if I don't set my concealer in place. But otherwise I'm not going to set anywhere else really, just probably my T-zone area. That's it. Nowhere else. I'm just going to leave the rest of the face with the liquid products. Just because I can get oily there throughout the day, that's the only reason I'm setting those areas. And because it is winter, I always like to go in with some lip conditioner just to hydrate my lips because they can get really dry and chapped. And this will just help moisturize them as I do my makeup, which just help them look more moist and plump when I put my lipstick on at the end. Now I'm going to go into my brows really quickly off camera. I've done my brows in previous tutorials if you guys want to check it out, but it's pretty simple. You guys probably have your own brow routine that you usually do, so you guys can do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so once you've done your brows, we can move on to the eyes. So I'll just do the rest of the face afterwards, now that when I see how dramatic I want the eyes to be. We'll see how we go. So now that you're up close and personal, we're going to go in and put in a transition colour. So I'm going to go in with my Caramel Melange Zoeva palette, and I'm going to go in with the Universal shade and place that in and out in my crease to create a nice transition for the other colours to blend into something. And I'm just using this fluffy crease brush from Zoeva. It's the 228 Luxe Crease. Next I'm taking Start Soft from the same Caramel Melange palette and placing that in the crease and outer V with a petite crease brush from Zoeva. And I'm bringing that all the way into the inner corner, like so. And extending it out towards the tail of my brow. Not all the way, just a little bit. So it creates a nice little point. Then I go back in with that 228 brush from before, and whatever's on the brush, I'm just going to buff out the edges so that they're nice and soft. I'm just going to go back in with that petite crease brush, and whatever's on the brush is deepening up that brown. And keep in mind to keep a soft hand. I'm not putting too much pressure on the lid area. I'm just using a light hand and letting the brush do the work. I just like to switch between those two brushes to kind of just blend out and then apply a bit more and then blend out, just so it's a soft smoky effect. There's no harsh lines created. Next I'm going to grab Finish Sensual, and I'm going to place that right over top of the previous shade Start Soft, because we're just going to deepen it up a little bit more. And I'm just using a pencil brush from Zoeva as well. I'm using all of Zoeva brushes today apparently. And apply that right in that crease area. Right in the socket, and just deepen it up. And just creating an edge when I'm applying that brown into the outer corner area, because I do want it to be a bit sharper. A bit more of a sharper smoky eye. Really create that elongated eye effect and that shape we're going on. And just grab that petite crease brush again and blend out the edges. No added product, just whatever's on the brush. And then finally go back in with that super fluffy brush from the beginning and just buff out the edges. You guys know the drill. And this is just how to create a nice seamless blend. The fluffier the brush, the more softer the blend, so it looks more smoky. Boom. Boom. Oh my god, like a seamless blend literally just gets me. Oh yeah. Yes, baby. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to carve out our crease. Yeah. About 2/3 of the way across. So grab your concealer and a concealer brush and start carving out your crease, baby. Make sure to keep your eyes open for this, just so that you know where the line will be when you have your eyes open. I'm bringing mine slightly above my natural crease. If you guys like want to keep it to your natural crease or whatever, like you do you, boo. I'm bringing it to about here. Kind of tapering it off a little bit into that deeper brown. See, I'm just like tapering it off a little bit so it's not like a harsh line, it's just tapered into the brown a little bit there. As you do. And once you get your cut crease, let's set that concealer in place with just a matte white shadow. You guys can use whatever shadow you want, you know. A cream shadow, like a skin colored shadow, whatever you want. Make sure you use tapping motions, not swiping motions, because you don't want to disturb the concealer that's sitting there. Next, from the Caramel Melange palette, I'm taking Almost Burnt on a flat shader brush, and I'm just placing that all over the cut crease concealer part of the eye. Next, I'm going in with that deep brown, the Finished Sensual shade, placing that in the crease, just deepening it up a bit more, and then also placing on the outer corner as well, blending it into the gold. I'm kind of just blending the outer part of the cut crease into the brown a little bit more, just so it blends in a lot smoother. And I just go between the gold and the brown, just on the edges to help them blend in together. So where they meet, I just swap brushes and kind of just use swiping motions to get them to blend into one another seamlessly. I'm just going in with some of that Petite Crease brush with the same colour that was on it, so the soft shade, and just blending out the edges of the brown, just very softly. And again, going with that fluffy crease brush from the very beginning and buff out the very edges. Next, to clean up this area here, I'm going to take some translucent powder on a Zoeva contour shader brush, and I'm just going to press this along the edges to kind of clean it up a little bit, and just angling that up towards the brow, the tail of the brow. You want to make sure you don't do it too close to the lash line, because then you're not going to have anything to connect along the bottom lash line. So just bring it slightly past the edge of your lashes. And you can also use a translucent powder to clean underneath the brow bone if you've brought your shadow up too high. Just lightly dust it underneath the brow bone, like so, and it just cleans it up so softly. It's so good. I'm just going to quickly go in with a thin line of liquid eyeliner just to help the falsies mesh in with my natural lashes a bit better, because the lashes I'm going in with have a thick lash band. Just a simple line. So the lashes I'm going in today with are the iconic lashes from House of Lashes, and I always make sure to go on a downwards angle when popping on my lashes, getting them as close to my natural lash line as possible, and I stick the outer corner and inner corner on afterwards. I also like to make sure that they're sticking on an upward angle because it makes them look longer. So because I feel like it's just not dark enough on the outer corner and in the crease, like not as dark as I would like it, I'm going to grab a deeper brown shade. So I'm grabbing my 350 Morphe palette and this deep brown shade from the palette, and on an angle brush I'm just going to kind of carve out the inner part of the eye and deepen up the outer corner with a pencil brush. I'm just grabbing that same pencil brush that I used before and just buffing out the edges of this brown with whatever's left on the brush. And I'm holding it on an upward angle to keep it blending upwards and not into the gold. And I'm just keeping it focused on the outer corner of the lid, not past it, otherwise you can tend to smoke it out too much. And I want to create a gradient with the other browns that I've placed down. And grab your petite crease brush and whatever's on the brush, just buff out the edges. That's better. That's better. So one of you guys told me a really helpful trick, which was to apply your lashes first and then mascara and curl them so that they mesh into your natural lashes more like seamlessly. And I swear I've been doing this lately. It's like the best thing ever. So thank you so much. For the waterline, I'm going to go in and tightline with a black kohl liner, and for the waterline, I'm going in with a brown eyeshadow, just because I want something softer than the black, and I don't own a brown eye kohl, so I'm going to go in with a brown eyeshadow, the one that I used just before to deepen up the outer corner and crease. And I'm also going to bring that down tightly against my lash line, that same brown, and kind of taper it in towards the inner corner, making sure to connect it with the top lash line. Then grab your pencil brush and some of that Start Soft shade and just blend that into the deeper brown. Again, tapering it in to the inner corner. And then just grab your petite crease brush and just softly blend out the edges so it's super smoky. Now just put on some bottom lash mascara. Now to finish off the face before we move on to like highlighting the inner corner and stuff, just because I'll do that all together when I highlight the face. For bronzing, I'm going to grab again my usual NYX contour and highlight kit and the tan shade from the kit and just start bronzing up my face really quickly. And if I go a bit too heavy handed, I always just go back in with my beauty blender or beauty sponge and just soften any edges. For contouring, I'm taking the Sculpt shade and just wiggling that nice and closely through my like jawline, what's it called? The cheekbones. I'm just wiggling that like right in where my cheekbones are to sculpt them out and make them nice and defined and lifted looking kind of thing. I like to focus it right here to give the most pigment payoff because that's where I want it to lift a bit more, and I kind of curve it around my temple area to create a more like natural contour, so it just kind of curves in and looks more natural rather than just having like a line sitting right there on your face. And just kind of dust some along the side of my nose to sculpt it out a little bit. For some colour on these cheeks, I'm going in with my Night End Morphe palette and grabbing these two shades and mixing them together. And I'm just placing it on the high points of my face. I know you're probably like, what? Like that's a weird spot to put it, but with my face it lifts it up. I don't like placing it on the apples or too far down because then it can kind of like make my face look really droopy. But if I'm just placing it on the high points, then it looks more lifted and there's still some colour to the face and things like that. For highlighter today, I'm going in with the shade Moon Gleam from my Violet Voss highlighter trio and placing that on all the high points of my face, and I'm also going to highlight my inner corner and brow bone with this highlight. I'm just not going to highlight my chin area because that is where like a lot of my breakouts and stuff are. So if you do have breakouts, it's probably best not to highlight those areas because you're just going to accentuate them. And just placing this under the inner corner kind of part. Hold on, I'll zoom you in. See, I'm just placing this right underneath the inner corner bottom lash line area to highlight that. And also the high points of thy brow bone. Oh my god, I love this highlight. So I'm going to go in with my Skindinavia finishing spray to set all this cake in place. And I know I fan it in all the time, but the point of fanning in is just going to help activate it and help it set into your skin. Help cling the product to your face. For lips, I'm going in with this e.l.f. brown lipstick in the shade Blushing Brown. And I'm placing this all over the lips because I felt like I wanted like a kind of like a brownie nude to match the eyes, I guess. And this here is the finished makeup look, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's makeup look. I hope you got a few tips and tricks from it to cover up your acne, to like, you know, get that cut crease going on, to just, I don't know, I hope you got a few tips and tricks. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did, and subscribe down below to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Otherwise, have an amazing, amazing day. I love you guys so much, and yeah. Mwah. Bye, guys.